This interval tutorial is going to find us talking about major and minor sevenths. So let's get started by beginning with the very basic interval of a major seventh starting on C. Now, as I've always said, the most important thing you can do when reading and writing intervals is recognizing what they look like without any alterations, without any sharps or flats or any of that. So we're dividing it into two pieces. We're dividing it into the number and into the quality. The number is the 7, the quality is the major or minor part. So if we start on C, we can count up 11 half steps to find our interval. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we arrive at B. Now, we have our major seventh interval. We counted the correct amount of half steps and we have arrived at the proper note. So what you want to do is look at that. Just look at the two notes, the distance between them on the printed page. The C is on the line, the B is on the line. There are two lines in between. That is what a seventh looks like. The number 7, not the quality. So regardless of sharps and flats and all that, you will always see a seventh look like this. A line, skip 2 lines, and then a line. So as long as we have that information, we can at least get half of our answers or half of our intervals correct. There's also another way that we could have done this. We could have just counted back 1 half step from C, rather than counting up 11 half steps from the lower C. So count back from the octave above, 1 half step, and you arrive at your major seventh. Let's look at another note and determine where the major seventh is. So let's start with F sharp. First step to finding the seventh above, the major seventh above F sharp, is to just get the number, right? So you see that F sharp is on a space. So guess where that seventh is going to be? Yeah, that's right. It's on the space. It's also on a space. And there's 2 spaces separating them. Again, that's what a seventh looks like. Now we have the number. Let's determine the quality. So F sharp to E, is that a major seventh? Well, again, we have 2 ways to find out. We can count up 11 half steps, or we could just go up to F sharp, the octave, and go back by a half step. And let's do that. So let's go back. So if I go 1 half step back from F sharp, I land on F. Wait a second. That's not E. No, it's not. So E is the correct answer, but it needs to be E sharp. Welcome to the world of enharmonics. So F sharp to E sharp is the major seventh. Now remember, this is music theory, not music facts. We can manipulate these notes any way we want. So if we want to call F E sharp, we can do that. If we want to call F G double flat, we can do that. So let's do one more note just to make sure there's no confusion. Let's go up to A flat. Now, again, just write in the interval. Don't worry about the flats or the sharps. So we count up 11 or we count back 1 half step, and we arrive at G. Now, is G the correct note? Does it need to be adjusted in any way? Well, we know that the major seventh is 1 half step below the root note, the note that we began with. So if we go up the octave to A flat and then go back 1 half step, we arrive at G. So yeah, this is the correct interval. A flat to G is a major seventh. Okay, so now let's talk about minor sevenths. So I'm going to erase these intervals that we've created, and we're going to start from scratch. And as you can probably guess, by starting on the note, we still are going to have what looks like the same interval. So I'm going to start from C again. And I know that a seventh above C is B. But now I'm talking about a minor seventh. So instead of counting 11 half steps, we're counting 10. Now, since you already know that B is the major seventh above C, we know we only have to step back by 1 half step and put a flat on that guy. Now we have our minor seventh. So here's a couple ways to think about it. A minor seventh is 10 half steps above the root note, or 2 half steps below the root note. Okay? So it's two different ways to think about it. Whichever way works for you is absolutely fine. Let's try another one. Let's look at G. Now, to find the minor seventh, we forget the minor part and we just write in the seventh. You know G's on a line. You know the seventh is going to be on a line as well. So, let's look. G to F. Is that a minor seventh? Well, we can count up 11 or we can count back 2. If we count back 2, 1, 2, we arrive at F. And yeah, that is the minor seventh. If you count it up from G, all the way down below, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We arrive at the same note, same answer. So we double checked, nothing wrong with that. Let's try a more wacky type of interval. Let's look at, I don't know, A sharp. So again, this may seem A sharp. Oh man, that gives me a headache. But again, just write in the interval. Don't worry about the quality of it. You got half the answer right just by writing in the interval. So seventh above, that's what it looks like. So it's A sharp to G. All right, well, is that a minor seventh? Well, again, you can count up the intervals from A sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that arrives at what looks like G sharp. Or we go back 2 half steps. 1, 2. Okay? Same answer. It is G sharp. All right? So, hopefully this clarifies some things for you. Again, going over the rules, find the number first. Just draw the interval, whether it's flat or sharp or natural or anything, just draw that interval. And then adjust the note as it needs to be adjusted. Now, always remember, you can't adjust the given note. If I give you A sharp, you can't adjust that note to make it work, because that's the given note. You can only adjust the note that you are seeking. Okay, so that's major and minor sevenths. We're going to carry on later with more scales and things like that. So please stay tuned.